The figure is vaguely familiar, yet I barely recognize him. His skin isn't translucent and blue. It's Elias. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and I'm back with more The Groom of Gallagher Mansion. In the last playthrough of this game, I think I got the indecisive neutral ending. I got ending D. So in this video, I'm going to try to get all of the other endings, and since we won't have to go through the intro again, hopefully I can fit them all in one video unless something absolutely crazy happens. So instead of the lyre flowers, how about zinnias? I like zinnias. Zinnias are pretty. I would like the orange flowers. They're so striking.
Yes, they are.
Hey, are you actually any good at flower arrangement? I want to see this bouquet.
Actually, zinnias probably wouldn't be very good for a wedding bouquet. Maybe for, like, a party or something, but shut up, Taylor. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I need to play it as coy as possible. Do you think they'll make a good centerpiece?
Heck yeah! Orange is a great color, and flavor.
I'm getting the feeling he really likes orange.
They're quite sentimental flowers. And I suppose that neither of us can simply drop sentimentality so easily.
True. You'd likely have moved on from this mansion otherwise.
And you wouldn't be here either. I trust you understand the significance. Now, what accoutrements would you like to add to this? There are so many, and I want to see what you pick.
I mean, in this case, purple would go really good with orange, but...
Ooh, pick something he won't expect. Something really bold.
What could possibly stand out as bold against these bright orange flowers? Here, these lilies. The ruddy pink is striking, and these stripes are so eye-catching.
The Peruvian lilies are certainly eye-catching. You seem to be quite a maximalist.
Elias blushes. Actually, that probably would make a really pretty bouquet. Maybe not for a wedding, but, your wedding can be whatever you want, gosh darn it. I'm quite used to the exuberance in my life. Now, how about these white-tipped ones with the pink interiors?
So much pink! But the pear blossoms and their white tips do add a particular gentleness.
I kind of want to see this bouquet, too. Is it that gentle? Honestly, these three flowers together, added piece by piece into the glass vase, are blaring at me. I didn't think they'd be so forceful when combined.
So, how's it looking? Is he impressed? If you get a chance, take a picture.
Aw, he's super interested.
Wait, are they ghost flowers? Can you even take pictures of ghost flowers?
Oh yeah, I guess they are ghost flowers. Elias, seeing as how these aren't exactly normal flowers, how long will this bouquet last?
As long as we both desire it and tend to it.
Oh. I've not tended to spirit flowers before.
It's easier than you may imagine, but you have to listen to them first. They say much more than you expect.
What is this bouquet saying now?
Collectively, that your loneliness leads you to needing.
Needing what? Yes, dear Elias?
A friend.
Oh.
Quick! Pick something a bit more dramatic.
Taylor's right, but I have to be more careful, more thoughtful. If the flowers are trying to speak to me... Okay, just breathe and try to pick something that isn't so striking. An accoutrement, like Elias suggested. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be fancy. May I add these smaller flowers to the bouquet?
The Queen Anne's lace. Yes, that is a very interesting choice.
Explain it to me, please. I've listened with my heart, but I'm not yet sure how to decipher what it means in my mind.
There is a desire for sanctuary hidden within you. That pain you feel. It runs deeper than one sad day, doesn't it?
Bud, you doing okay over there?
I'm being psychoanalyzed by flowers. I suppose it must. make it work, make him believe it. Maybe I was too hasty with my vows. Yes, that was most certainly it. Can I blame them for leaving me? It was my fault, wasn't it? Trying to please them without truly understanding them. Trying to please myself without even understanding my own needs.
I doubt it was your fault. That it could be so simple.
Elias sighs, once more cupping my hands in his own.
Dearest, you've created a beautiful bouquet. One that comes from the deepest of hearts. I'll treasure the zinnias and their friends forever.
Elias, thank you for understanding.
Do you need space to rest?
In a sense. May I be alone for a moment?
Yes, of course. Come find me in the study when you're ready, my love.
He floats out of the greenhouse, phasing through a wall, and my breath returns to me. My heart is pounding in my chest like a cannon.
All right. Did he buy it?
Taylor, do you think what he said...
Bud? What he said about what? You trailed off.
Is that bouquet what I really want? Friendship and security and safety?
I mean, is it? I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, is this leading towards Taylor?
I guess they're not bad things to want, especially when you're not interested in marrying a ghost.
Yeah, I guess I don't know when flowers mean now and when they mean forever.
They probably don't mean anything at all.
It is still a bouquet I like. Here. I pull out my phone and snap a picture. And the flowers are there on my screen, just as they are in front of me. Have some ghost flowers, Taylor. I shoot the picture to him via text.
Holy crap! Man, I bet you'll never get them out of the mansion, unfortunately. I should have tried inventing a containment unit for ectobotany.
Ectobotany. You'd never figure that out without spectral planes to test on, you goof.
Hey, never say never. If anyone could do it, I bet it would be us.
Well, I was just attacked by, possibly Elias's dead non-wife, Violet DuPont, with a knife. I spit out the name without thinking. I know whoever I saw was a woman, but was it really Violet?
I'm starting to think there are some other spirits in this mansion besides Elias. Why else would there be interference when he's not even in the room?
Goodness! Are you quite alright?
Let's see, I think there were some clues in the dining room. Namely, the, Violet with a knife. That vision with Violet, or whoever I saw just now, is really bothering me. I'm staying here to inspect the glass cabinet a little more.
Be careful, alright?
I pull myself out of the chair and step towards the cabinet, and its book once more. This time, nothing seems to appear.
Though, how are you going to explain to Elias that you're basically staying put?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I swing the cabinet door open and shut, investigating it from multiple angles. Then I take out a book to inspect it. The words are nothing but jumbled Old English to me. Man, some of this stuff is illegible.
Too hard to read?
More like too hard to understand. Did people really talk like this?
I don't know. You seem to do a pretty good job of it.
I slot the book back in place, and I cough as dust gets in my nose.
You okay there, bud?
Even though this place looks clean, the dust in this cabinet is still very real.
Maybe that was Elias's plan all along. Death by choking on dust.
I roll my eyes.
See anything new?
Not really. I wonder where the kitchen is in this place.
Oh, no. You probably don't want to go into the kitchen even if you're able to find it. Oh, imagine the mildew and rot. Ugh.
Come on, you're a person who hunts ghosts. You gotta get used to rot. You think so? You know, since you love comparing yourself to Egon so much, I bet you'd love something like that. Somewhere covered in mold. Yeah, do you collect mold, spores, and... Dang it, I don't know the quote. Editor me, what is the quote?
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
Thank you. Taylor laughs heartily, the sound light in my ear.
Well, if we're comparing each other to Ghostbusters characters, I am the brains of the operation. Egon just makes sense.
I was thinking you're more of a Janine. Your red hair and cute face is much better suited for that role. Taylor makes an odd, barely noticeable noise, then clears his throat.
I knew it. You do think I'm cute.
Anyway, I think I deserve some credit. You may be the planner, but I'm the one about to marry a ghost.
Hey!
I smile at the pout in his voice.
I would have joined you, but backup is important. I'm prioritizing the evidence and trying to avoid Elias's suspicions.
I shuffle back and lower myself onto one of the chairs at the dinner table. Is that really the reason, or are you worried you won't be able to hide your insatiable desire to be ravished by a ghost? I pause for a second, smirking. You know, I found that notebook you left in the club room last week, the one filled with lewd fanfiction. Try as you might, you aren't that subtle. His squeal is enough to make me stifle a laugh. Taylor clears his throat, his voice lowering.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I take a deep breath before sighing dramatically. She had me pinned against the wall. Her lips left a trail of fire along my skin as she... I cease, realizing he hasn't tried to stop me. He then speaks, his voice soft and low.
I'm not writing about ghosts.
I raise an eyebrow. Then, what are you writing about?
It doesn't matter. And it's not fanfiction. Just get back to the mission.
Taylor sounds unusually meek right now. Maybe I stepped on a nerve. Hey, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
It's okay, bud. How are you doing over there with all those visions and everything?
Well, no ghost lady has jumped out at me with a knife, so that's good. Honestly, it's a lot all at once, but hearing your voice through this all really keeps me calm. I can almost pick up a smile in his voice as he replies softly.
Good. I'm glad.
I better get going somewhere before I waste too much time. I push the chair back and try to stand up, but the leg catches on my clothes. Uh-oh. Ooh. Ah!
What's going on?
Ow.
Are you all right?
Ow! Out of nowhere, Elias grabs my hand, his other arm wrapping around my waist as he steadies me. Elias, My vision blurs as the scene before me dissipates and molds into something else entirely. I see Elias, surrounded by his siblings and father, all of them shouting and jeering. Horrible, terrible things in a mocking tone, making fun of him, calling him weak, a mistake. Grief and guilt fill my heart before I snap back to reality. I'm leaning against the wall, Elias kneeling next to me. He looks exhausted.
I apologize. I should have come for you sooner. Are you all right?
Are you okay? What happened? You suddenly shouted and...
I nod, my heart pounding out of my chest. I'm all right.
I am relieved to hear that.
Oh, thank God.
Aww. Elias, did you feel that connection? Elias nods.
If only for a brief moment, yes. I saw a red-headed gentleman smiling at you.
Uh-oh.
Who is that, if I may ask?
Taylor immediately pops into my mind. A friend. He's a friend. I swear I catch a flash of jealousy across Elias's face, but it dissipates just as quickly as it appeared.
I would love to meet your friend.
I would love for you to meet him as well, and I'm sure that he would be excited for the opportunity, too. Elias's expression softens as he leads me away from the dining room and into one of the many hallways.
Anyways, my darling, I did come back to find you, as I have finally uncovered my grandmother's recipes.
Woohoo!
If you can tell me which one you'd like, I will make preparations while you freshen up.
Oh, I'd really appreciate that. When it comes to the cake, I think I'd like to try... What? Earl Grey cake? What?
An excellent choice. You have the most wonderful taste, my dear.
Earl Grey cake? Huh.
Please, let me handle the remainder. If you wish to rest, please, I encourage you to do so.
Oh. What exactly did you think about what happened with the flower arrangements?
I got to see some beautiful ghost flowers, I suppose, but Elias might not buy your story anymore. That may be a good thing.
How would that be a good thing?
Easy. Marrying an actual, literal ghost has got to be hazardous to your health.
I fail to see very many downsides in that. I mean, unless he wants me to go with him like Corpse Bride style, but,
Maybe you can keep it up for a while, but eventually your facade will slip. And then what? The longer you wait, the bigger the heartbreak. He's been waiting so long. The best you'll get is a sad marriage where neither of you actually like each other, but if you bring it up, you just end up losing what you have. And at worst, he makes sure you can never leave.
Ugh.
I don't want you to be stuck in that mansion, but even if we get nothing from it.
I don't think we'll get nothing out of it. But what really worries me is Violet. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know why she's here, but I want to get away from her if I can.
Can you make it so she doesn't appear? Any rituals or anything?
I think it's up to Elias, not me. It could be that she's part of his memories.
I'm really starting to not like that guy.
Then there's what happened just now.
When Elias touched you again?
Yeah, part of my outfit got caught by the chair and I nearly tripped, but he caught me just in time. I had another vision. This time I saw his family mocking him. I couldn't really make out what they were all saying, but it definitely wasn't praise.
What concerns me more is that he mentioned seeing me. Was he reading your mind? It almost sounded like you two were exchanging memories.
I have no idea. I'm able to hold his hand without triggering any memories sometimes, but we were both stressed out at the time, so...
I don't like that he's capable of reading your memories, even if this time wasn't intentional. What happens if he finds out that you're faking all of this? Honestly, and I mean it this time, I want you to leave this place. There's something very wrong going on. Nothing we read said anything like this would happen.
He leads me to a door, then opens it. Inside is a bedroom similar to the one I woke in. Elegant and ornate, if not a bit barren. Oh, he's showing me into his bedroom this time instead of me just wandering in there and finding his smut.
Just a moment, my dear.
He lets go of my arm, making his way to the vanity. Instead of reaching for one of the drawers, he presses his hand against the wall, causing the vanity to lower and reveal a hidden compartment. I wonder how many other secrets this place holds. Elias sifts through the drawers inside the compartment, eventually pulling out an unassuming dark wooden box. He slowly opens it, revealing a ring, a necklace, and a pair of earrings. I want them earrings. I like earrings. I pick up the earrings. They're delicate, yet ornate. I sigh softly, taking my time to inspect them closer, but despite my attempts to focus on the jewelry, I hear Taylor's warnings echo in my head over and over again. It's actually discomforting, not having heard his voice for so long, while I'm stuck in this mansion. I should have asked him to come sooner.
Are they not to your liking? If you'd prefer something else, surely I can...
Oh, that's not it at all. These earrings are gorgeous. I pause, giving Elias a sheepish smile. My act is starting to slip without Taylor's commentary to ground me. He's said to stall for time, I need to stall for time. I'm just a touch worried about how safe it is to wear these. The mansion itself is decaying, and if the jewelry has rusted anywhere, it may irritate my skin. Elias chuckles lightly. He motions for me to put on the earrings.
It's entirely safe. I have kept them in a secure location and check on them frequently. You have nothing to fear.
Oh. These earrings could be cursed, too. Once you put them on, they'll never come off. Or maybe Elias will take over your body. Or, at least, I think that's what Taylor would say if he heard that. I nearly snort at the thought, but stop myself before I do. Well, better not decline Elias's wishes. I carefully slip them on. Nothing happens. See, Taylor, I'm perfectly fine. Thank you for allowing me to borrow the earrings, Elias. They must be very precious to you. A slight blush flushes on Elias's cheeks.
Please, do keep them on for our ceremony. And beyond. Once we are wed, everything in my name will be yours.
Oh. Everything? Elias really is serious about marrying me. I'm actually going to marry a dead man, aren't I? This isn't a joke. You're far too kind, Elias. Elias smiles back genuinely. I want to scream, but I hold my tongue. I'm too young to get married, darn it.
Shall we make our way outside? Everything is prepared for the ceremony.
Of course. I think I'll settle for screaming inside my brain. We exit his bedroom together and go down the stairs one last time, my new accessory adding weight to every step.
Soon we shall be wed, my darling, and we'll have all of eternity together. Are you excited?
In this playthrough, the MC don't seem very excited. Elias sure seems to be. I don't know how to answer that, whether I should be sincere and tell him the truth or continue the charade. I think it's charade. Taylor is coming, but Elias is only interested in me. Even if Elias is kind, I don't know what he'll do if his second attempt at marriage fails. This whole night, Taylor has been on edge. I can't really blame him. I've worried my best friend ever since Elias entered the picture, and yet... why am I so worried about Taylor when I'm the one who's probably in more danger?
My love, what's on your mind?
Nothing. I really am a bad actor in the end. With everything that has happened, is about to happen, I must be feeling the entire range of human emotion right now, my beloved. Nervous, excited, and so full of dread.
Taylor, please. Where we go from here is up to them to decide.
He spilled all the beans just all over the dance floor. And now I must choose. I must choose my ending. I can't do this. I can't marry you, Elias. You're very kind, but I've only gotten to know you for one night. That's not nearly enough time for me to declare my eternal, undying love to you. But Taylor, on the other hand, I've known him for years. He's my bestie, even if he's kind of obnoxious.
Hey!
Or an immature pervert.
Come on.
And makes me do a lot of his dirty work. All of his dirty work.
Okay, fine. That part is fair.
Because at the end of the day, I know Taylor always has my back. We're always looking out for each other, and I think that's what makes the stable foundation for romance. Taylor's jaw drops as a blush spreads across his face, while Elias studies the both of us silently. So marrying you like this, just to fulfill your wish, wouldn't be fair, because I can't give you the love you crave, the love you deserve. I hope you'll understand and forgive me.
This is nothing like the romances I've read in novels, nor the kind I've seen my parents or even siblings divulge in. It's clumsy, ridiculous even. Why, it's hardly romantic.
Hey.
And yet, those were the most genuine words I've heard from you this entire night. You hold those sentiments quite dear.
I'm glad he's all right with it.
So this is what true love is.
Hang on. Does that mean you'll actually go out with me?
Yep. I'm willing to give it the good old college try, at least. Elias clasps his hands together and brightens up in spite of the fact that I just rejected him.
Waste not, want not. I shall officiate your wedding then.
What? Wait a minute.
Whoa there, easy now. Are we really doing this? I'm not even ready.
I'm not ready either. I'm not wearing my, wedding costume, which is actually just a white dress.
Do you take Taylor Potts to be your lawfully wedded husband? To live together in matrimony? To love him, comfort him, honor and keep him?
At least we don't die in this ending.
In sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy, to have and to hold from this day forward, as long as you both shall live?
Elias is really determined to see some kind of wedding today, so I might as well entertain him. I do.
And do you, Taylor, take them to be your lawfully wedded spouse, to return their affections and so on and so forth?
Taylor scrunches up his face when Elias doesn't repeat the same ceremonial speech for his part of the vows.
Shoot. I guess? Are we moving a little fast for...
By the authority vested in me as the final heir to the Gallagher family, I now pronounce you married.
Sorry, Taylor. Guess we're married now.
You may now kiss.
Taylor looks at me, then at Elias, then back at me, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. We gon' kiss Taylor! All Elias does is motion at him to do something. Eventually, I sigh, and I just pull Taylor towards me, smashing my face into his. Aw, he's being such a good sport about it. Elias laughs and claps his hands together, clearly elated by our antics.
Splendid show! Now quickly, follow me to the study.
Elias glides out of the ballroom while I drag Taylor behind me, still sputtering and confused over what just happened. Elias pulls out a paper from the drawer and clasps his hands together, causing it to glow with a ghostly light. Wait, are we gonna sign a...
My will, freshly written. I think you two will be pleased.
Wait, what? Taylor and I scan the document.
I, Elias Gallagher, former head of the Gallagher estate, hereby leave all my material possessions, including the Gallagher family jewels, and the manor itself to the newlywed Potts. The Potts?
Oh, just call me Espoir Potts. Even though I'd prefer to be Espoir Gallagher Potts, but that's what this ending is.
Farewell, my dear friends. Please use my family's fortune for your honeymoon, or whatever else you may need it for.
Elias, what are you doing? With a final bow, Elias quickly fades from the room.
So, what do you want to do for our first date?
We'll clean up our new home, I guess. Hibernate. After a full 24 hours of uninterrupted sleep, Taylor looked up whether my surname actually was legally going to be Potts now. Considering a ghost officiating a wedding, and not even an ordained ghost at that, isn't exactly legally binding, Taylor and I decided to take our relationship slow. No marriage, not yet. Hopefully Elias wasn't going to be too mad about that. After doctoring the will a little bit to fix my last name, we laid claim to the fortunes left in the Gallagher Mansion. The family jewels turned out to be worth a heck of a lot of money, enough to pay off both of our student debts and then some. But we got so caught up in trying to figure out how to work with our sudden and unexpected inheritance that we forgot to recruit new members for the club. Well, you shoot for the moon, at least you'll end up in a brand new mansion.
It sucks that we lost the OHSIC. But who needs them? We can probably fund our own activities for a while.
I think we should go easy on the spending for a while, or at least stop buying the name brand of orange soda.
What? But the generic store brand just doesn't have the same flavor profile. The recipe is completely different, and the ratios of high fructose corn syrup and...
I kiss him deeply on the mouth once more to shut him up. Stupid that it works, but he doesn't protest when I pull away with a wry smile. You're a dork.
Yeah, I am.
No. Ending C. For science. Alright, give me that rose. Give me that stereotypical rose. The rose is always a classic choice. Red means love, yes?
Red on a rose means true love, undying love, eternal love.
Hence why it's Ashton's favorite color of rose. Sounds about right. Taylor's had me flick through a few books on flower language over the years, hoping we could lure out some ghosts with the right blooms, but I could never keep the meaning straight in my head. Maybe Elias was the type. Red roses were easy. Would he know more? Yes, I think it's a perfect choice for us then. Do we have a vase?
Of course.
With a flick of his wrist, a pile of dust on the other side of the room collapses, and in his grasp he holds a perfectly clean, nearly translucent glass vase.
Acceptable?
Oh, much more than acceptable, and something to cut the flowers? Oh, and gloves to handle the thorns.
Of course!
He provides me with the tools, and I set to work. Do I need to trim the stems before putting them in the vase? I think there was a trick to removing the thorns, but if I knew it, it's long gone.
Careful. Simply go slowly, and the rose will happily let its guard drop.
I guide the knife he provided slowly up the stem, as parallel as possible, and when the blade hits a thorn, it cuts through like butter.
There you are. See? Not a thing to be afraid of. Not a moment that needs to be rushed.
Oh. This whole day has been a rush, hasn't it? Sure, in the sense of I've literally met a ghost after years of trying, but also all the pressure. I had less than 48 hours to prepare for my own wedding, even if it was fake. All the sudden research, all the desperate planning, and not a breath in between. My hand slows to a crawl, and I savor the moment, pruning each thorn one by one. They fall to the greenhouse floor, decorating the tile in reddish-green points. Eventually, there are no more thorns to prune. I add another rose to the vase, hoping it looks okay, then another.
Splendid! Now, did you have thoughts on accoutrements? Accent flowers, that is.
Oh, right. This is just a half dozen of roses, not a full bouquet. I hadn't thought about it. If Elias is that into flowers, would you suggest some for me?
My pleasure and my honor. First, some baby's breath.
Absolutely.
Fake the flower language. If you get it right, he'll be happy. If you get it wrong, he'll have the joy of correcting you.
Taylor's voice hisses in my ear. Baby's breath. That's something about youth, correct?
In this bouquet, more a symbol of innocence and purity.
Oh, I hope he doesn't get weird about purity, because I definitely cannot meet Victorian standards.
They work stunningly when used sparingly. One may expect that their small size must be bolstered by great numbers, but that's simply not true.
He's going all, actually, about flowers to me. I try to take his advice. The little white flowers slip between the roses, resting like snowflakes suspended in mid-fall. Elias could make roses bloom in winter, couldn't he? I think about what an odd wedding that would be, but his hands continue to guide mine, raising the baby's breath up a smidge.
Do you see how that little bit of elevation gives the whole bouquet a sense of dynamism? Personality.
Flower arrangement is serious business. How much is a smidge? Here?
Here.
He reaches out, and his hand flows through the stems, through the petals, and through my fingers, lifting my hand along with the flowers, ever so gently. Ah!
Just like that.
Ah! And would we like more flowers in this bouquet?
Yes, I think so. What would you say to lemon balm?
I'd ask how closely related they are to lemons.
There's Taylor with a snark again. Of course.
Only some leaves, green and small. Perfect for filling in the gaps and adding a rich aroma.
Ooh. Do they mean something about sweetness? Probably best not to ask about sourness.
Sympathy and compassion. Though speaking of sweetness, these leaves do make a nice tea.
Lemon. Ah, perhaps you could brew us a few cups when we're done here.
Oh, what an excellent idea. Yes, I think we shall have that lemon balm tea.
That sounds nice, actually. All right, let's save some of this for the kettle. I tuck some of the leaves around the edge of the vase, and following Elias's suggestion with the baby's breath, I make sure to raise some up too. I try to keep it beneath the more exciting flowers, but every now and then I make sure a few of the little buds of baby breath barely peek out from the bottoms of the lemon balm. Elias watches me with a polite smile, the same one I've seen so many times now. But his eyes are brighter, giving him away again. This time he's trying to downplay his joy. Would you like to help arrange?
I would love to.
Oh. And Elias returns his hands to the vase, carefully making sure that what he adds complements what I've composed. Even though I've never done this before, even though I've never looked so closely at a bouquet, I can tell what I've touched and what he's touched. And honestly, altogether, it looks pretty good.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I think one last flower. And you should choose, my dear.
Ah. He shows me two different flowers, one of flat, delicate yellow petals, and another of thin, wispy strands of purple. I don't recognize either. Let's go with the thin, wispy strands of purple, because that sounds like lavender, and I like lavender. If it's my choice again, I choose to savor it, to roll the flowers around in my head, and let them delight me. Why not? I don't have to understand their meanings to find them beautiful. The yellow ones.
The yarrow. Excellent.
Oh, yarrow is a good healthy flower. I admit that I'm unfamiliar with these.
A symbol of everlasting love.
I believe you can use them as various types of medicine, too, right? Right, Editor Me?
Again?
I chose everlasting love twice. Double eternity. I try not to think about it. They're only flowers, after all. Elias and I return our hands to the bouquet, adding the final touches.
The flowers look absolutely gorgeous, my dear. But still nowhere near as lovely as you.
Oh, stop. Thank you, Elias. I can feel my heart hammering in my chest. These are just plants, innocent little flowers. Flowers with too many meanings, too many promises.
Is something the matter, dearest? You look a bit pale.
I must admit that I'm a bit tired. Would it be all right for me to rest a little before we continue preparing for the ceremony?
Of course. You mustn't exert yourself too much. Please feel free to choose any room on the ground floor. Though, you'll have to excuse the state of disarray it may be in.
Thank you, my love.
And do not worry about the mess here. I shall clean up and rejoin you after I check something in the study.
Elias bows as I turn to leave the greenhouse. Let's go back upstairs to Elias's bedroom. Oh, this door is slightly ajar. Guess I'll go in. I swing the door completely open, wincing as the hinges creak. It's another bedroom.
What's wrong?
The layout is the same, but it almost looks sad. Hey, there's an ornate box on the vanity. Surely something like this has to contain something important in it, right?
Be careful. We don't know if that's spring-loaded with some kind of trap.
I don't think it will be, but I hold my breath and take off the lid slowly. Ooh. Glass shards? That's it?
Seriously? Why waste such a neat box like that on trash?
Maybe it's something important.
Kinda doubt it.
Elias appears before me the moment I turn towards the doorway.
What are you doing in here, my dear? Darling, I'm quite flattered by your compliments, but I have my reasons for being inexperienced.
I mean, you're bedridden. That sort of thing requires stamina that you perhaps did not have at the time.
Well, beyond simply never having been properly wed before, of course.
Last time I said, what sort of things strike your fancy? But I think I'll go straight for the kill and I'll guide you through it. I'll guide you through it, my dear Elias. It's nothing to be ashamed of, at least in this day and age.
Oh. Is it?
Oh.
Alright, I'm tuning this out. Tell me when it's over.
It's not uncommon for one to explore themselves in solitude. How familiar are you with your own pleasure?
Not very well, admittedly.
Really? If you'd like, we can explore together.
I will consider it.
I mean, we are going to be married after all. I must teach you the ways of hanky-panky and making whoopee. He clears his throat, trying to regain his composure.
Well, I, did find the cake recipes. Would you care to join me back down on the ground floor?
Aww. Why, yes, of course. Elias has been nothing but a complete gentleman to me. Shame about the rest of the house, but his heart seems like it's in the right place.
If you say so.
He is quite impressive at making bouquets. Maybe I am too. Should we take this back to the campus?
Take what? Ghostly flower arrangements?
Yes. Yeah, someone's gotta be interested, and there's no flower club at the university. It's an avenue, at least.
There has to be more that you found. Please?
I actually did take floral arrangement in college. It's very lovely and very fun. Just teasing. Of course there's more. The sighting of Violet in the dining room was a lot. Like, a lot.
I know, and I didn't even see it.
I think in that brief moment, I hated her.
Whoa,
Why shouldn't I? She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be haunting Elias. She's the true danger. And truth be told, I don't know if her spirit's actually here at all. She might simply be a figment of Elias's memories.
So Elias is the true danger then?
No, that's not what I said.
You're starting to worry me.
Then there's what happened just now.
I still can't believe you managed to find his smut collection.
I didn't mean to, I swear. I just picked up a book at random.
I would have loved to see the look on his face. Though you really didn't have to ask him his favorite sex position afterwards.
It was already awkward, so I kinda just wanted to see what would happen, you know? I end up laughing a bit too, despite myself. Anyways, I wonder why he had a box of mirror shards. It just seemed so out of place in his room.
I couldn't tell you anything about it. Maybe the dude's just a weirdo.
I don't think he's like that.
Are you seriously starting to feel something for Elias? Because I'm starting to think he's casting some kind of magic on you to make you feel connected to him. Honestly, and I mean it this time, I want you to leave this place.
Well, now I wouldn't be so sure about that.
There's something very wrong going on. Nothing we read said anything like this would happen.
The ring, the ultimate symbol of love. I pick up the ring, inspecting it closer. The name Gallagher is engraved in the inner band with fancy cursive lettering. Elias gently takes it from me and slips it over my finger. It slides on easily, without being too loose or too tight.
A perfect fit. Like it was made for you.
It's quite gorgeous. Is there a story behind this ring? If you would like to hear the story of the ring, it's in the first playthrough. Well, not the first playthrough, but the playthrough behind this one. Elias looks past me, biting his lip.
I must confess something to you. I doubt that it will affect you now, but...
I brace myself. I have no idea what he plans to tell me.
I adore you, but my mere existence is a blight. My polite mannerisms and lavish clothing are merely a thin veneer over the fact that I am weak, hideous, and undeserving of my status.
Oh. Elias, don't say such awful things about yourself. You've never had the tools to succeed in a world that measures your worth by your productivity. Without even considering the barriers that hold you back, you were thrown into the meat grinder without emotional support or physical ability to meet the challenge head-on. I take a breath to steady myself. This system was not made with people like you in mind, so how could you be expected to succeed when you're pitted against people who don't face the same struggles? And despite past neglect, you have always been hopeful. That is far more admirable in my eyes.
You are far too kind. I appreciate your words greatly, however...
Elias grips me tighter, as if afraid I might run off.
The truth is, I was congenitally malformed.
Malformed? I took another look at Elias, squinting. At a glance, I could see nothing amiss. He seemed to have all of his limbs, fingers, ears, eyes, and nose. His clothing betrayed no alterations in form or function.
It's not immediately apparent, thanks to years of learning to adapt around my condition, but it's true. My feet are were malformed at birth, and so in life. I had difficulty walking. Compounding that was a general sense of malaise that never improved over time.
Oh. Elias pauses, gaze never leaving mine, yet looking past me all the same. Elias, dear sweet Elias. If you think that's going to stop me from marrying you, you are sorely mistaken. I'm in love with your heart and your mind, not your feet, sir. I'm not a foot person.
The family doctor had diagnosed the malaise as what was commonly known as a nervous disorder at the time, a condition which had then only recently been christened as multiple sclerosis. Being that both my congenital deformity and acquired nervous disorder are incurable, my continued existence proved to be a great burden that only grew over time.
I'm so sorry. My apology feels so inadequate, but I don't know what else to say. What am I even apologizing for? My gaze turns to the side as I think of something better to say. On its own, being ill is nothing to be sorry for. It's not within anyone's control, but when the systems and people that should have provided support fail a person with an incurable condition, it is truly regrettable. Elias was confined to bed, even though the condition itself could have been managed with proper support. Because his siblings had never needed that kind of support, that alone was enough to condemn Elias to an isolated life of hardship. Oh, poor sweet baby.
My birth itself was difficult and caused my mother quite a lot of grief. I don't blame her for any resentment left over from that. But it wasn't all bad. I consider it a blessing that my condition could be easily obscured, so I wouldn't bring further shame to the family name.
We both glanced down to where his feet would otherwise be, now replaced by a ghostly, translucent tail.
Tell me, several decades have passed since my death. Surely both science and medicine have marched forward during that time. Are there cures now for the conditions I had in life? I hate to consider that anyone may still be suffering from these afflictions.
I'm afraid that doctors still haven't found a cure for multiple sclerosis. We know a lot more about it now, though. Some think it's an autoimmune disorder, and we can manage the symptoms. Some researchers even believe they've pinpointed the cause, though that is still to be seen. And then surgeons can provide prosthetics, artificial limbs, that is. Vast strides have been made for prosthetics since the Great War. It's an option if people can afford it. I manage a genuine smile at him. There are whole practices dedicated to learning how to live with and use a new limb. Fitting prosthetics for individual patients, therapies for regaining physical strength and social integration. There is so much to be hopeful for now. Elias closes his eyes, bowing his head.
I see. That is a small comfort, I suppose.
Being disabled does not make your life something to be ashamed of, Elias. You did the best you could with what you had, and I still intend to wed you, my dear. Elias takes in a breath, regaining his composure while loosening the grip on my hand.
Let us dispel such unpleasantness now. Shall we take our leave for the ceremony?
I do my best to nod and smile, the weight of his words still heavy in my heart. My arm wraps around his. We shall. Elias, what is the significance of those glass shards? I was hoping I would find out.
And we'll have all of eternity together. Are you excited?
Elias sure seems to be. I don't know how to answer that. Whether I should be sincere and tell him the truth, or continue the charade. At the very least, I can confidently say that there's no way Elias is capable of expressing malice towards others. He's too sweet, too naive almost. Elias deserves better, but I am not the one he deserves. These feelings I have for him can only be described as pity. I can't love him the way he wants me to, the way he needs me to. Not today, at least. It's too soon for me to mean those 3 words he desperately needs to hear. An insincere declaration of love to Elias Gallagher would surely be a sin worse than murder.
My love, what's on your mind?
Nothing. I really am a bad actor in the end. There it is. The truth is out. I suppose it had to happen sometime. If Elias could sink into the center of the earth, he probably would, the only thing keeping him afloat in some sense of decorum.
But not all of this was a lie, was it? Your demeanor changed as we spent time together. You got to know me, you learned about the real me, and I think your heart opened.
Oh no, come on, don't do this! I get that you're lonely, but you're completely missing the point here!
Taylor, please. Where we go from here is up to them to decide.
Thank you, Elias, for giving me a choice. I ask for your forgiveness. I can't say that I didn't mean to deceive you, but I regret it. Although I don't regret meeting you, I only wish it could have happened under better circumstances.
I can't say that it doesn't hurt. I'm not sure if I will ever see you in the same way again. And yet, I am glad we met as well. This day, it was perhaps the best day of my life. And death. I hate that it must end this way.
Must it? You were also correct when you said I got to truly know you, and you've been nothing but kind and loving towards me this whole time. I do want to be with you, Elias.
What?
If you'll still have me. I could never comprehend the thousands of emotions that must be beating through Elias's heart. Taylor is trying to say something, but I can't hear him.
My love. I want our happiness to thrive. Will you learn to love me, in joy and despair, until the end of time and beyond?
I will. I do. Shut up, Taylor. I'm trying not to stumble over my words, but I think I managed to choke them out correctly.
Then we are wed.
Oh. Elias takes my hand, fingers tracing the ring he'd slipped on my finger. He holds me close. He kisses my lips, and I nearly faint again. But once the kiss is over, I'm awake, alive, staring deeply into my husband's eyes.
It is done, my love. Now, shall we elope on our honeymoon?
Oh, Taylor, come on now. Taylor, look at him, aside from the big bloody area, but he's such a sweet baby, and I love him. Don't look at me like that, Taylor.
Taylor, my dear medium, I ask you to help us see the world.
Uh-oh.
We can revolutionize your ghost club. We can change humanity.
I mean, join our club, if you're able to leave.
And I know my love appreciates all that you've done for them.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I turn to face Taylor, who's extremely interested in the floor all of a sudden, a crimson blush tinging his cheeks. Taylor, maybe I would have dated you if you had asked me, but I think it's too late now. But you've always been a good friend, and I've always cherished you. If I didn't, I'd never have come to this mansion.
I shouldn't have said anything.
No, you should have. You care for me so much. I love you, Taylor. I hope you can understand how. I put a hand on his shoulder and lean in to give him a peck on the cheek. But I want to love Elias Gallagher too, and I'm ready to spend the rest of my life with him.
I don't want to be a third wheel. I'll go.
No, please, be a third wheel. You're not. You know what? You and Elias, spend an hour getting to know each other. I'll take some time to myself. I could use a break. We're gonna change the world, Taylor. I just know it. I wave to them both and step out of the ballroom. Wow, I kissed a ghost, and married a ghost, and fell in love with a ghost. And not 12 hours ago, I thought I was getting all gussied up for nothing. I rub Elias's ring, enjoying its embrace on my finger. It shines in the dim light as if it were a candle. So, do I own this mansion now, or partly own it? I guess so. We'll have to start thinking about repairs. But this isn't the world. This doesn't have to be the world. I walk through the halls, down the foyer, and step right out the front door. And the wind is ready to greet me. I'm ready to greet it. The morning sun is beginning to peek over the horizon. I watch with contentment as it climbs into the sky, ready to light up the world around it. Soon Elias and Taylor find me, waiting for them outside. Everything hashed out?
Hashed?
Yeah, we've gotten to know each other. And we've come up with an idea.
Yes. I'm not particularly excited by the prospect of becoming a freak show to gawk at, but my flowers, those are another thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to start a spectral florist shop?
Aww. Oh, absolutely.
What shall we call it? Gallagher's Spectral Exotic Flowers and Bouquets?
Yeah.
Hey, I get to have my name in there too. We're business partners now, after all.
I let the two boys bicker and rest my head on Elias's ethereal shoulder. It's going to take some adjustment, but I can't help feeling as though everything is as it should be. Oh, ending B, for love. Best ending. I like this ending. We're all together, and we're not all dead. Well, one of us is dead, but he was already dead when we got there. Now that I go back to the lyre flowers and all of the flowers that go with that, they kind of relate to him. Delicate but passionate, a broken heart. And then the violets. An archway, a gazebo, baking in the blazing sun. A lush garden with the promise of life, sickening sweet scents hanging in the air. She brushes past me like I'm not there. Who is she? Who is she? Elias knows. Elias must know. Violet? She walks between the shadows cast by the trees, through the arch, and under the gazebo. And she's still here beside me. Even so far away, she's still here. The wind catches her sun hat while the sun hits a single point on her bosom, reflecting right into my eyes. Well, let's see what's going on in the study. I want to revisit the study. We might find something out about the Gallagher family business, or that curse that killed them all.
Not a bad plan. Archibald Gallagher made his office in that study, so he talked business deals there.
I exit the dining room and head towards the study, back to where I first found Elias after waking up. Did you have any theories about the curse, by the way, Taylor?
I know about as much as you do. Perhaps one of those shuttered small businesses cast black magic on the family in retaliation for Archibald using them as a stepping stone on his way to the top. Mr. Archibald Gallagher was known to be a rather stern and ruthless businessman.
Guess we'll see if we can find any evidence of that in the ledgers. Back in the study, the gentle aroma of chamomile tea permeates the room. Everything looks to be the same as the first time I was in here. It looks like it's business as usual.
What does that mean?
The tea set that Elias had out is still here, and there's way too many books to look through. Not sure where to start.
Unless he took a nap, he'd have to have been doing something.
I scanned the room once more, spotting a few new books on the desk. Maybe Elias was looking at those. I'll start at the desk. There's some volumes here I didn't catch before.
Sounds good.
Static cuts Taylor off again while a rush of dizziness knocks me into the chair. Uh-oh. Not again. Better not be that lady with a knife! Hushed and hurried voices emanate in the darkness. Heavy feet stomp on plush rugs. Tension and anger loom in the air. Louder. Louder. They're yelling. They're shouting. Which way is up? Which way is down? I don't know if I'm standing or floating or sitting or lying. I can't feel anything. I'm suffocating. My lungs are bursting. I want to cry. Ugh. A tiny ray of light blinds me. I rush towards it in hopes of it granting me solace, cupping my hands around it so it doesn't escape. Inside the light is a little motion picture. 2 figures in the study, one taller and older in a chair, the other much more youthful, leaning on a cane held in his right hand. Oh! The figure is vaguely familiar, yet I barely recognize him. His skin isn't translucent and blue. It's Elias.
Blast it all. Your sister died earlier this spring, and already we have to make arrangements for the next funeral.
Father, if you would let me speak just once.
What is it, Elias? I don't have time for idle chatter from a child like you.
Elias taps his cane on the carpet several times in barely restrained protest, though the man named Archibald Gallagher doesn't notice.
I am not a child anymore. I am already of age, and I'd like to make a single request of you. It will not be too much trouble to you, Father.
And what would that be?
My mirror has been in need of repair for the longest time. If you could have someone restore it.
What mirror?
Grandmother's mirror, the one that used to be in the attic. It shattered, but I still have all the pieces.
Archibald turns toward his son in disgust.
You still have that trash in your room, and you dare ask me to repair it after you broke it?
Elias's knuckles turn white on his left fist, while he's trying to keep as much of a neutral face as he can.
It wasn't me, it was...
I have no time for your childish sentimentality, Elias. That mirror is worth nothing, and I have much more pressing matters to attend to. Leave now, or I'll have one of the servants remove you!
Father, I can walk on my own 2 feet just fine.
If Archibald heard Elias, he certainly didn't care to react. Elias grips his cane tightly before turning towards the door, and in the process, our eyes meet. My breath hitches in my throat before I can muster the willpower to do anything else. And just like that, the scene disappears with a blink.
Copy! Hey, do you copy?
Taylor! My vision adjusts, and suddenly I'm back in the study I walked into. A cold sweat clings to my skin.
Another vision?
Yeah, I'm still not used to these. These things are way worse than the one time Taylor and I tried experimenting with weed and got a bad batch.
Give me a status report.
I saw his deadbeat dad, and the glass thing is his grandma's mirror, and can we fix it? Bob the Builder, can we fix it? I steady my breath and grip the arms of the chair as I sink down. I landed in the chair at least, and this time I saw Archibald Gallagher. He was arranging the next family funeral while Elias wanted him to fix a mirror.
A mirror?
He said it belonged to his grandmother.
I'll see what I can find out about it. Was there anything else?
One of the other things I saw was that Elias was using a cane, and his dad said something about having servants remove him, like he was an object.
What the actual
I know, right? I don't know. Archibald said it as if Elias couldn't leave the study on his own, like he had zero autonomy, and of course Elias was really upset. Fluff, I'm upset about it.
Take your time to catch your breath. Let me know when you're ready.
I close my eyes and take in another deep breath. These flashbacks or memories or whatever are extremely tiring, but assuming they're all from Elias's life. I shudder a little. I can't believe he had to go through that. I almost want to cry for him, but I don't know if I have enough time to do that right now. I need to focus. I bring the chair up to the desk and immediately start rifling through the books. There's a series of large notebooks filled with sheets upon sheets of information, aged yellow from the passage of time. I think I found the old Gallagher business ledgers, journals detailing where all the assets are, as well. I flip through more pages, more books. There's bank names, but no clue as to where the jewels might be.
So close, yet so far.
I reach the end of the final notebook and stare, stunned, at the last leaf. Unlike the other pages written in neat black ink, a red scrawl screams at me. Baby? Yes? The last page of the letter says, "Those without fortune cling to what they can." It's written in red ink like someone was desperate.
Wow, that's ominous and not helpful at all. What does it even mean?
Elias is probably the only one who knows. I sift through the ledgers once more. After a sigh, I put the books away.
Nothing else?
Only hastily scribbled locations. I think I'd better get back. I quickly put everything away where I found it, then stand up from the desk. After scanning the study one last time, I head out back into the hallway. Just as I'm a few paces from the study, I see Elias turn the corner with a giant grin on his face.
Good news, my dear. I have recovered the recipes. No need to fret any longer.
Oh, he's so happy. I jump as he floats closer, quickly trying to regain my composure. Elias, completely oblivious to my panic, continues giving me a reassuring smile.
It's all right, my dear. Now then, have you decided on a flavor?
Choose funfetti! Choose funfetti!
I don't think they had funfetti in the 1800s, 1900s. I forget how long ago that you died, Elias. Ignoring Taylor, I choose... let's do Earl Grey again, because the smile he made was adorable.
And
that vision I had while looking at Archibald's ledger was really intense. God, I felt so frustrated, and he wasn't even talking to me.
I still haven't found anything online about whatever mirror Elias was talking about. Did he mention how big it was? Like, are we talking a hand mirror or a standing mirror?
I don't think he brought it up. All he said was that it belonged to his grandmother.
Do you think it's a red herring? Though, breaking a mirror is pretty bad luck.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe it's the source of the curse.
And if Elias still has the pieces of that mirror, we can get to the bottom of this whole ordeal.
That would definitely be something we can boast about. Solving a centuries-old curse. I'm just not sure you should tackle that tonight. Honestly, and I mean it this time, I want you to leave this place.
But we Okay, so I'm gonna pick the necklace, the thing that was shown in the vision with the lady. The necklace is heavy in my hands as I gently pick it up. Boy, bet I could pay off all my student loans and then some with this thing. I study it closer. It looks almost familiar.
Do you like it?
I do, but I think I've seen this before. Maybe from an old picture. Elias tilts his head.
It was one of my mother's favorite pieces in this collection. It's also the most expensive.
As he says this, it suddenly becomes even more heavy in my hands.
Here, allow me.
Elias takes the necklace and moves behind me. Could you tell me more about yourself, Elias? I'm curious to know as much as I can about my groom.
Of course.
His hands are cold against my skin as he slides the jewelry around my neck. He clasps it shut, hands lingering for a moment on my skin. He gives a tired sigh before speaking, a hint of melancholy lingering on his lips.
I must confess that I was born quite sickly, and my birth came with so many complications that it nearly killed my mother. Even after that ordeal, there was nothing the doctors could do to help my weak constitution. I suppose that's why my father and siblings treated me the way they did. I was seen as a nuisance, a problem. I don't entirely blame them.
I'm sorry.
It's far away and in the past now, so enough about that.
Elias moves back around to look at me, a cold, ghostly hand trailing along my cheek. The sadness from his voice has all but disappeared.
Marvelous. The necklace fits you perfectly.
I angle my head up to get a clear view of it in the mirror. It certainly is gorgeous, but I know that I can get more information out of Elias if I play my cards right. I'm certain this necklace must bestow infinite beauty upon its wearer. Surely you've seen others done it before.
As I mentioned, this was my mother's favorite piece. It graced her neck quite frequently.
And what of your previous bride-to-be? Did she not wear this as well?
My previous bride.
The smile slips from his lips, and his eyes go hazy. I brace myself for another vision. I feel bad. I know it's unpleasant for Elias as much as it is for me, but he's a key witness to the mystery of this manor. His whole life and death, as a matter of fact. The silence stretches on for what feels like forever. Elias's face is completely blank, devoid of any emotion. Elias, dearest, I meant no offense. Elias grips my shoulders, his fingers phasing through my skin, causing a shiver.
Her name was Violet DuPont, the sister of our groundskeeper. We never wed because she betrayed me the day before our wedding. I suppose she and Gerard were desperate. I should have been on my guard when they continued to ask me about the location of the family jewels day after day. I thought the necklace, the grandest piece in the collection, would have been enough to hold her interest. I had promised to share the rest of them with her after our consummation. But before I could even cry out for help, Gerard held me down while Violet...
I put my hand over Elias's in an attempt to show him that I don't need to hear anything else. Forgive me, Elias. We don't need to speak of her anymore. Elias's grip on my shoulders eases, and he gives me a sad smile.
No, you needn't apologize whatsoever. There's no need for me to reminisce, and you shouldn't have to compare yourself to her.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be compared to your murderer, at least. That's what I'd like to say. And I want to stop, but I need to know the truth straight from the horse's mouth. Tell me about the things that brought joy to your life. You have a fine eye for beauty, Elias. I'm sure that there were other items you held precious and dear.
You've seen the greenhouse already, so you can imagine its splendor in full bloom. I quite liked reading on the bench there when my energy permitted. It was quite difficult to visit in a consistent manner, however, so I often had flowers brought up so that I could enjoy the fragrant floral bouquets in the comfort of my room.
Elias leaves my side momentarily to grab an ornate box from the vanity.
Aside from the flowers, there was also a family heirloom that belonged to my grandmother. It was an antique silver mirror, and a very charming one at that. At least.
I leaned forward as he opens the box, and I peer into its contents.
That was before it shattered.
Elias does still have the mirror pieces. A fun little tiny fact about vampires and mirrors. It was believed that vampires couldn't see themselves in the reflections of mirrors because back then mirrors were made with silver and, silver and the undead and stuff like that. So that's why there was the idea that vampires could not see themselves in mirrors. So that begs the question, mirrors today, vampires should technically see themselves fine in, but that's a debate for another day.
I liked it quite a lot, and ended up taking it out of the attic in my early childhood. I used to look into it and imagine myself as some sort of fair prince. It was innocent daydreaming, but alas, my 6 older siblings would often mock my love of the mirror. And with such a weak constitution and gentle demeanor, there was little I could do. When 6 people who aren't very fond of you get physical, well, you can imagine what might happen. The mirror was shattered, and I was the one blamed.
Oh, so was it the grandmother who cursed them? Like, my gosh darn grandkids, I'll show them. He gently closes the box and pauses.
Grandmother didn't seem to mind that it broke, but I cried for days. Maybe it was sentimentality, guilt, or fear. But whatever the case, I simply could not let it go.
Then again, who gave the grandmother the mirror?
I forbade any of the maids or butlers to toss out the shards. The mirror was meant to be a wedding gift, and I was determined to have it fixed one day.
It seems like that day never came.
Yes, it was one of my greatest regrets when I died, silly as it sounds.
I don't think it's silly at all. That mirror was important to you, and you've held on to it all this time. I think it's admirable. Not to mention, that mirror could very likely be the source of the Gallagher curse. But does Elias know that?
Thank you for understanding, my dear.
The melancholy atmosphere in the room fades as he smiles warmly at me.
I am quite eager for our union. I think it'll be something glorious. I've always wanted a grand wedding, and to think I'll be marrying someone as lovely as you.
Well, you are too kind, Elias.
Come, follow me outside. I have much to show you.
The truth behind the so-called Gallagher curse wasn't some smaller business exacting revenge on the family, or Elias pulling puppet strings in order to make himself the sole heir. No, the Gallagher bloodline probably met its end because that antique mirror shattered when Elias was a child. He said that mirror was meant to be a wedding gift. Has the curse ended, or will I die too? The thought makes me shudder.
My love, what's on your mind?
Nothing. I really am a bad actor in the end. With everything that has happened, is about to happen, I must be feeling the entire range of human emotion right now, my beloved. Nervous, excited, and so full of dread.
But not all of this was a lie, was it? Your demeanor changed as we spent time together. You got to know me. You learned about the real me. and I think your heart opened.
Oh no, come on, don't do this! I get that you're lonely, but you're completely missing the point here.
Taylor, please. Where we go from here is up to them to decide.
Elias, first I have a question for you.
Then I shall do my best to answer.
Do you know what caused the curse behind the death of your family?
I do not. No. None of the deaths were connected, at least not to my knowledge. And contrary to popular belief, I did not orchestrate those accidents. I'm not a cruel person, and I hope you can at least attest to that after tonight.
You are a sweet baby boy. I never said that you were, Elias, but Taylor and I had some theories.
We did?
I elbow him in the side and roll my eyes. Elias, I saw glimpses into your past tonight, wisps of memories that allowed me to feel your emotions. And two things stood out to me. The first was Violet, and how uneasy you felt whenever she was around. Memories involving her would leave me disoriented and scared for my life. The second was you yourself, talking about the shattered mirror with your father. At the mention of the mirror, both of the men fixed their posture. I felt your frustration, like I was suffocating. I hated it. Breaking a mirror is bad luck in a lot of cultures. When you showed me the shards in your room, you told me that all of your siblings blamed you for shattering it.
Yes. I was simply admiring myself in the mirror's reflection when they came to snatch it out of my hands. I tried to keep it safe, as it belonged to my grandmother, but
6 versus 1 isn't very fair. And your parents probably didn't side with you on this, did they?
Elias shakes his head, the gears turning in his brain. In addition, that mirror was meant to be a wedding gift, wasn't it? It was never gifted to any of your sibling spouses because it was broken, and your father didn't bother to repair it.
so then, the curse.
I think your strong feelings towards that mirror inadvertently caused your family to become cursed. That does make sense, right, Taylor?
Yeah, I guess that's enough of an explanation as any.
Then even my own death at the hands of the DuPonts was part of the curse's doing, just as I thought.
Actually, if we go by their explanation, I don't think Violet DuPont jamming a dagger into your neck was because of the curse. You two technically weren't even married yet, and that whole stabbity-stab thing was a textbook example of premeditated murder. You know, the opposite of a fatal accident.
Oh, yeah.
You were so desperate for love that you ignored your gut instinct about something feeling off with Violet the entire time.
Elias looks down at his hands, then at the floor, despondent and on the brink of tears.
I see. So if I were to carry on with the wedding and marry them, then they too would die of the curse.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want none of that, please.
If that's the case, then I'll never have my wedding, even in death.
The room is silent as Elias reaches the realization. I feel so bad, but I don't want to die for his sake.
Hang on, I think I have an idea.
Fix the mirror. About what?
If we're right about the mirror needing to fulfill its purpose as a wedding gift, then all Elias needs to do is give you the mirror after the ceremony.
Or that too. I'm sorry? I gawk at Taylor and his sudden exchange of heart. I thought he didn't want me to marry Elias.
Elias, I'm really sorry for shouting at you when I burst in. I was venting about a lot of personal stuff that doesn't remotely involve you, and you didn't deserve that.
Aww.
And Bud, I never should have forced your hand into doing the field mission for me. At the very least, I should have come sooner to provide backup. But if you two trust me on this, and you're willing to try, everyone can have their happy ending. At least, I'm like 95% sure this will work.
But weren't you opposed to our union?
Maybe they did get to know you better tonight. I shouldn't tell him what decision to make.
After doing this night 3 to 4 times.
So, as you said, let them decide.
They both look at me expectantly. Elias, I love you as much as I could ever love a friend. It may not be the love you crave, but if you'll still have me, if it helps to break the curse, to finally free your soul, I will accept your hand. My groom's face alights with a sad smile.
Yes. I suppose your hand in marriage is all that I had asked of you when we first met. And so, I graciously accept this arrangement.
Oh, the way the wedding music just kind of comes in. Although, Elias, if I can choose the wedding music, can it be Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts? I think that would make a killer wedding theme. Pun not intended. We both turn to face Taylor.
Do you take Elias Gallagher to be your lawfully wedded husband, to live together in matrimony, to love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, in sorrow and in joy, to have and to hold, from this day forward, as long as you both shall exist on this plane of existence?
I do.
And do you, Elias, take them to be your lawfully wedded, yada yada, etc., as long as you both shall exist on this plane of existence?
Elias shoots Taylor a disappointed look for ruining the mood, sighing.
I do.
Where's my prop? Yay! We's married now. Again, for like the 3rd or 4th time.
The authority vested in me as the official president of the Occult History and Sciences Investigation Club, I now pronounce you married.
Now, Taylor, would you mind doing that for my other, 30 to 40 fictional husbands? Taylor. Taylor erupts into an applause that echoes throughout the ballroom, accented by leftover spirits Elias had summoned while the man himself kisses me swiftly on the cheek.
And
Aw.
now, my dear, all that I possess in my mortal years belongs to you.
It does?
Yes. Please come with me to the study. Quickly now.
Oh. We all collectively exit the ballroom and follow Elias's lead to the study. Taylor lags behind a bit, but I pull on his sleeve before he falls behind and gets lost wandering the halls of the manor. Elias pulls out a paper from the drawer and clasps his hands together, causing it to glow with a ghostly light.
Here we are. My will, freshly written. With this, the mirror has been transferred into your possession, my beloved.
Oh. Taylor and I scan the document.
I, Elias Gallagher, former head of the Gallagher estate, hereby leave all my material possessions, including the Gallagher family jewels and the manor itself, to my beloved partner. I mean, a will written by a ghost would never hold up in court, but for the sake of breaking the curse, I think this should work.
It will.
With how weird our American government system is, I'm surprised a will written by a ghost wouldn't work. Elias floats away from us with a complacent smile on his face.
My wish for a wedding of my own has finally been fulfilled. And now, it is time for me to depart from this world.
I guess this is the best ending. This is the corpse bride ending. I guess it's a happy ending. Are you sure? But we've just met. I never got a chance to really get to know you, and... He holds up a hand to stop me.
I am an ancient relic of decades long since past. A memory of a life tethered to this land. But now that I am married to you, I am free.
Elias casts a sideway glance at Taylor.
Mr. Taylor Potts.
Yeah?
Take good care of them in my stead. If you make them sad,
Elias's lips break into a sly smile.
I may come back to haunt you.
I plan on it. The, taking care of them part. Please don't haunt me.
Don't you want that? Don't you want a ghost in your life at all times? Elias chuckles.
Very well.
Elias takes my hand one last time.
Live and prosper where I could not. Farewell, my love. May we meet again in heaven.
Be quiet, Taylor. Goodbye, Elias Gallagher. Thank you for everything. With a final bow, Elias slowly fades from the room. What?
So, is your last name really gonna be Gallagher now?
Espoir Gallagher sounds alright. Taylor, why do you always kill the mood? After a full 24 hours of uninterrupted sleep, Taylor looked up whether my surname actually was legally going to be Gallagher now. Turns out that if both spouses don't sign a marriage certificate, you can't be legally wed. Not in this day and age. So the last name thing doesn't actually matter in the long run. Hopefully Elias wasn't going to be too mad about that. After doctoring the will a bit, we laid claim to the fortunes left in the Gallagher Mansion, and as it turns out, they kept more than just the family jewels in there.
Holy cannoli, we're rich!
I'm rich, and I'm just redistributing redistributing the wealth to you. Why is
Who
it so
cares about the details? We can repair the entire mansion and, actually live in it! And then we don't have to pay rent!
Well, you gotta pay property taxes because we're living in a nightmare. That's very true, actually. Dang, maybe I should marry more ghosts to inherit their estates. Well, we were so caught up in legal matters that we forgot to recruit members for the OHSIC. Taylor and I would go on to clear Elias's name of any wrongdoing in the local legends. It only felt right after all he did for us. And so we spent a small fraction of my new fortune repairing the mansion and the antique mirror to its former glory, and spent the rest of our college days rent-free. That's a good ending, too. I still like the ending where we're all technically married and have a little ghost flower shop. That's a good, complete ending. Solve the mystery of the Gallagher Mansion. I really liked that. That was fun. I liked all the endings. Even the one where we're all dead. I like how Elias isn't too upset about us lying to him from the beginning and Taylor also being in the picture. I like that. I like that he's not super jealous. Elias is a sweet baby, and his smile must be protected. This was a lot of fun to play. I really love the art and the music and the whole atmosphere and all the roses and the flowers and being friends with a ghost. All that. I love all that. But I'd love to hear what you think in the comments, so you can leave a comment down there and I will read it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.